Right then, quick video, whether it's going to be what we want it to be, I'm not too sure, but Paul forgot to get the camera out and record himself taking this apart when I weren't here. But basically what's happened here is about 3 hours work, something like that. These Minis are not as nice to work on as the Volkswagens, which is still not nice to work on, but we're used to them. But yeah, to do anything on this, all that subframe has to come off, painful, lots of bolts, but once you've got it off, fine. So if you watch the last video when we're on track, mainly in the wet, baiting supercars at Silverstone GP. We ended up with a problem where Scott originally said the clutch were going to the floor and then it weren't coming back up.
Clutch pedal's gone weird. Yeah. Clutch pedal's gone right weird. No, it's only come up halfway when I dropped it down. It only come up halfway.
But then it popped out of gear and then I went out of it and it didn't even get half a lap and it was just, you trolled it into gear and what have you. So terrible. We Scott thought it was a clutch problem, but when I went out of it, I just said game over, something wrong with the gearbox. So we initially thought hopefully it's just a selector fork problem, but then when Paul's took it to bits and found this, we realised we'd got bigger things to worry about. So if you look, this is the input shaft. There should be a bearing that looks like that on the end of there, and there's not. There's just a little nub, some balls that have fell out, and then inside the casing it's all got damaged in there as well, which had it popped an hole in it, Paul, and we're leaking oil?
No.
No.
It's the cap that popped.
Oh right, I'm going to say yeah, the cap's popped. I thought it busted an hole, but it has damaged it in here, but the cap will keeping the oil in as well. But it really stunk of oil and obviously won't go into gear, so I think it's just basically just thrashing about and not doing anything. So this gearbox, we're just a scrapyard gearbox, so potentially there were already a problem there, but we're also aware that we're putting quite a bit of torque through this and giving it quite a bit of hammer, so it's potential that Silverstone GP always kills gearboxes if because you're using 5th gear a lot and sometimes dropping into 6th gear, which really strains them. And this gearbox inside is not the meatiest, it's nowhere near as meaty as like an O2M or anything like that. But so this is just a twin shaft rather than a triple shaft. But what's odd is there's nowhere to the gears, which you'd expect to rip some teeth. But anyway, I digress. So we're going to throw this back together, put the old gearbox back in with a diff in, which the diff's fine, and then see how we get on. But I'm hoping, while it's all in a million bits, if we get chance, I might just pull the turbo off and see about getting a bigger turbo on and stuff like that, because we've not really got any reason to have this ready soon, because I want to test the BMW at the next track day. So we might put a big turbo on and that might alleviate this problem, because you've got all the torque at the low end, that's what kills bearings. So we'll see what this video is going to entail. I'm not too sure because Paul didn't record it, so it'll probably just be putting it back together, so I do apologise. So yeah, see what happens anyway. So the gearbox is sorted. We're out on track in a few days, so we'll get some footage from there. Not sure if I'm going to do much vlogging while we're there, because at least on this car, it's not really the main focus of that day. They're taking the BMW as well, the 330D. So yeah, hopefully it goes well at the track. Silverstone's always the one that kills things anyway, like last time, so we'll see how we get on.
I've done a very slow in lap. Went in a little bit quick then. Yeah, tyres are not up to temp, are they? In race, I love that corner. I can do everyone. I like Maggots and Beckets in race. I don't know, only reason I don't like Maggots and Beckets. Everybody just swings all over the place, so there's no way to go. If you started going diagonal, you need to wait while near the end of that curve on entry. Then turn in, just square, see it as loads of square corners. And then once you've got it right, it starts flowing then. All preparations for the Grand Prix. When is it? 15th of July, I want to say, 14th, 15th, something like that. So 4 weeks. You have to put a lot of shit up. I bet they were hoping that hotel were done, weren't they? Yeah, they made some money if that one. How much is that going to be to stay in on it? Grand Prix weekend, it'd be like £5 grand or something. Probably more. What is it there? Come on then. Ryan, stop stressing. You fuck about though. Safety first. Into this first one, then because you're slowing down, you're coming off, and as soon as you come off, it just goes wide. It'll just be light. It probably won't be far off flat. I thought that, but then I'm like braking a bit hard, and then the problem is if you brake too hard, you're upsetting that much. It's never ever going to be flat, is it? Or you never get confident. So you need to just very, very lightly on brakes, just as you get to, and then back on it. Yeah. What we're doing is plug it in with BIMCom. Yeah. Have you got BIMCom on your laptop? I don't know. I've got it on mine. It's in your laptop. You do that, I'll have a look at this rattle. Definitely just that thing up there.
Top ball.
It must be, I can't see exactly. Do you want me to?
Yeah, you will.
Is it? It's them 3 bolts or those? Yeah.
So the car was pretty good at the track day. Gearbox seems to be absolutely fine now, so Scott reckoned it were a little smoother, like as though maybe that bearing were always on its way out. I'm not sure. Just kept driving it anyway. We did notice it was really hot, I think like 28 degrees, something stupid like that. And we were getting a bit of smoke out the back, which this doesn't normally do. And then a couple of times we got the engine warning lights, came in, plugged it in, it was coming with all random stuff. But one of the faults was a MAF sensor fault. So I thought, well, if it's getting a MAF sensor fault, I think signal too high or something like that, and it's smoking, there's probably a boost leak. So we ripped all this stuff off here, which is not easy to get off, but ripped all that off and put the boost leak checker on, and we could just hear a little hiss coming from it. So I've got a picture of this pipe with a tiny little hole in it. It looks like it had rubbed. I wish I took a picture of it now, but we're busy at time and camera battery had run out. But there's a little bolt that sticks out on the chassis, only a couple of threads, and this expands quite a bit when it's got pressure in. And it looks like it's just been rubbing on that and then popped an hole in it. So this was the repair at the track. We put some rescue tape on there that you stretch around, then some electrical tape, then some duct tape and a clamp for good measure. And it seemed to fix it, it was fine, but we've put a new one on there now and we'll just keep this as a spare or whatever for later on. But yeah, it does rub in a few places and it's absolutely nowhere near anything. So when the engine's moving, it must get pretty close. So anyway, hopefully there's no more rectification stuff to do on the Mini. We have got another set of rear pads because the yellow stuff doesn't seem to be the best. I haven't got some Tarocs, which I didn't know they did them or they've only just released them. So I'll try them. And then we've got the poly bushers. And I don't know if Paul recorded it when he was doing it. I don't think he did. We've got rid of the EGR cooler and all the EGR stuff now as well, just so we could do the kit. And that should be listed when this video goes out as well. But yeah, anything you need to know about this car, it's in the spec list. Love taking this on track. We get a lot of people coming up to us when we're there asking what have we done to it and how much power is it, and they can't believe it's only 200 odd horsepower. But it really does want a bigger turbo. So I think we'll probably do the Powerflex bushers on the next installation. But then I think it is figure out what we can do for a turbo kit, because I want a 2260 on this so we can have power at 4,000 to 5,000. So thank you very much.